Hello and welcome to LA1 TV. My name's Freddy and we're here with Derek from the Lancaster Music Cooperative. Now, do you want to tell us a little bit of backstory about the Music Co-op and what you sort of do?
Yeah. So the Music Co-op was started, this is our 40th year anniversary this year. It was started by a group of students from Lancaster University because they found that they didn't have anywhere in town to practice music. So they got this old building and kind of built rehearsal studios and a recording studio in it, just so that they had somewhere to go, really. And over the years, it's just kind of built into this huge community hub, and it's been used every day for the last 40 years up until about 5 years ago, which sadly it got closed down during the COVID lockdowns because the building was in such a bad state of repair. So we've been raising money and we've been working with a building company and a design team and everything, and we're in the process of getting it back open as a fancy new shiny studio. So we're just kind of trying to raise awareness and funds to get the building project done, and we're fingers crossed hoping that we'll be able to be open by the end of this year to mark the 40th anniversary.
Definitely, that'd be brilliant. It sounds like the kind of place which would be really nice to have back in Lancaster. So what's your actual role within the cooperative? What do you spend most of your time doing?
So I'm one of the team of directors, so we're all involved in kind of liaison with the design team and all of that kind of stuff, and the builders and things. And I also more specifically do the kind of community outreach stuff. So I organise and promote all of the events that we have and fundraising events and things like that. So that's my kind of main role, really.
Nice. So you mentioned that you were fundraising to kind of get the building back up to standard. So what are the more kind of specific goals of that? Is there a certain sort of figure you're trying to reach in terms of raising money, or?
So we received quite a lot of money from the City Council, which we're very grateful for, and the Heritage Action Zone Fund, which is part of English Heritage, and the UK Shared Prosperity Fund, and the Community Ownership Fund. So we have raised quite a lot of money already, which has enabled us to fix the outside of the building and make a decent start in building the actual rooms inside. But we're kind of looking to try and hopefully raise another £300,000 to £400,000 to finish it off to the highest possible spec that we can do, really. So that's our kind of aim.
Yeah, definitely a big goal then, but I'm sure with the kind of local culture and community, then hopefully there'll be people want to.
Yeah, and we're constantly kind of applying to different funding bodies and things like that, so hopefully some of those things will come through. And we're actually in the process of launching a community ownership thing, which would mean that people can buy shares in the co-op, not just the building but in the co-op, so then they will be able to have a say about what happens with it in future and things.
That's great. So is it sort of going to be an area for small local bands to kind of give them a bit of a foothold in the local area? Or? Absolutely,
yeah. I think that's always what it has been. It's just been for anyone who wants somewhere to go and make music. I think Lancaster's pretty incredible for it's a relatively small city, but there's a huge music scene, and there's just not really anywhere currently that it's that accessible to go and practice. So the idea is just to have 4 rehearsal rooms with all the gear set up, so you just pay by the hour, come in, you don't have to load in lots of gear or anything like that. So yeah, it would be great for young people who just want to get into music, or more established bands, but yeah, we're hoping to make it as accessible to anyone who wants to come and use it.
That's great. Well, speaking of local bands, in this very room actually a few weeks ago we did a live lounge with a local band called The Shoestring. So I believe you are who you have helping you with a fundraiser over the next couple of weeks.
I believe they have now changed their name to Disc Jockey, though.
Have they? Okay, that's news to me, but I'll bear that in mind.
Yeah, well, they only told us after we'd printed all the posters off as well.
Hopefully.
But yeah, we've got so we run we do occasional big events at Cantina in Lancaster. We did one recently as part of Independent Venue Week, but we also run a monthly club night upstairs at the pub in China Street in town, where we try to get 3 local, well, sometimes we have an out-of-town band, but it's usually 3 local bands playing on the last Friday of every month. It's free entry, and it's just a great way of celebrating all of the great music that's been made in town, really.
That's great. And you said that was this coming Friday, so the 28th of February?
Yeah, so the next one's 28th, and then after that it's the last Friday of every month.
So do you have any other upcoming events that you wanted to tell us about, or is it just mainly this one on Friday?
Well, we do it the last Friday of every month, so yeah, I guess the best thing for people to do is, if they like the idea of it, just keep an eye on all our social media platforms, and we announce the bands kind of the start of each month, and then they're on the last Friday. We're working on a few other things, hopefully with Cantina again, but nothing that we can kind of promote at the minute. And another thing we've been working on is, because sadly, I don't know if you know, but the Lancaster Music Festival is not happening this year. They're taking a break this year. So we're hoping that the Music Co-op can put on a kind of alternative festival on the same weekend. So, but like I say, if people are interested in what we're doing and want to see some great music, just keep an eye on our social media.
Definitely a shame the music festival is not going ahead, but if it gives you a chance to run your own sort of alternative one, that would be a sort of great compromise, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're just a team of volunteers, and I think it's just been a bit overwhelming, really. It must take so much time and effort for them to organise it, because it's a huge event. So we're definitely not trying to do anything to replace it. We just thought it might be good to do something
while they're taking a break.
Yeah.
So if people wanted to keep an eye on your socials and things, where can they find you? On Facebook, Instagram, that sort of thing?
Facebook, yep, and Instagram, and our website is lancastermusiccoop.co.uk. We've actually just launched quite an exciting thing today on our website, is a band directory, where we're asking people to fill in the form online. You can post photos, links to your music, videos and things like that, and we're hoping to build up a huge directory of all the people making music in Lancaster, and hopefully that will lead to them getting gigs and all of that kind of stuff. So if you're in a band, then give that a look as well, please.
That's brilliant. Hopefully anyone in a band listening will definitely think of doing so. So in terms of the social medias, what would that be on Instagram and Facebook?
It's just Lancaster Music Co-op, I think is the handle on both of them, so it should be easy enough to find.
All right, perfect. Yeah, can't imagine there's too many other people with the same name.
Niche, yeah.
Anyway, well, thank you so much for coming on. This has been a really interesting interview, and I hope people watching live will have enjoyed hearing a bit more about the Co-op in general. And yeah, hopefully we've got some more people to come along to your event on Friday.
Yeah, we'll hopefully see some of you there.